everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing my long-awaited comparison between the Row Margaux 12 and the Row Margaux 15. So if you want to see that, then just keep on watching. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Raisa. I talk all things personal finances and luxury goods. So if you're into that, make sure you're subscribed down below. I've had the Margaux 12 for the last 3 months. I bought this in the beginning of January and I bought it in the smooth calfskin leather and in the gold hardware. So I've had a couple months with this bag already, though I haven't really been wearing her that much, and we'll get into that. And then if you saw my last video, I also unboxed a Margaux 15 in the pebbled leather in black with silver hardware. So there are going to be some price differences, some size differences, and all the leather differences. So I want to get into all of that. And at the end of this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts and let you know which one I'm going to be keeping. So getting started with probably the biggest difference between the two, which is the leather. So as I mentioned, I bought the 12 in a smooth calfskin. And I will say that this is one of the most beautiful leathers I've seen in a handbag in a really long time. I really like Loewe's leather and obviously Hermes leather as well, but I feel like it's pretty up there with those two. So with this beautiful leather, I think it's just prone to more scratches. And I have had this for 3 months and I've really tried not to baby it, but I think just unconsciously I have been babying it. I haven't really been reaching for it. I've only used it a couple times over the last 3 months, and I told myself when I decided to keep it that I didn't want to spend over almost $7,000 and just have it live in my closet. Like, that's just too impractical for me. So I think you don't really realize how much you're going to use a bag until it's finally in your collection. And sad to say that this hasn't really been getting a ton of use, though the leather is very, very beautiful. As you can see, it is a smooth calfskin. This bag is still in like new condition just because I haven't really been using it. So there's not really any scratches on this, but I feel like with continued wear, there would be. So if you're okay with that, then definitely go for the calfskin leather. But if you are someone who want something that is super carefree and have a bag that doesn't have a ton of scratches, even if you've used it, I would definitely recommend the pebbled leather for you. So getting into the pebbled leather, it is such a durable leather. It is still very thick and very, very good quality, but it's something that does not get scratches easily compared to the smooth calfskin. As you can see, it is a grained leather, and I've had bags like this before, and I just know that they'll last me so many years, and I love that about a bag. I can kind of just use it without really thinking about it, and it still looks like it's brand new. So that's the leather side by side. You can see the differences. It's definitely a noticeable difference. One is grained and like textured versus this one is a more smooth calfskin. If I were deciding between the two and I was someone who didn't really care about scratches and like that lived-in look, I would definitely go with this one. It is such a beautiful, luxurious handbag and the quality is really there. And if I was someone who didn't really like to think too much about how scratches will show up and how the bag will age over time, I would go with the pebbled leather. I think that this leather is still very beautiful. It's just a little bit more hard wearing compared to the smooth calfskin. I also want to mention that there are price differences between the calfskin and the pebbled. If you were to get a pebbled Margaux in the same size as the calfskin, the pebbled will be a little bit cheaper and the calfskin will be slightly more expensive if that is a consideration. The next thing I want to get into is hardware. So when I was first looking at this bag, I knew I wanted it in gold hardware. I think gold hardware just looks better on me personally. But now that I've had this bag for the past 3 months, the hardware doesn't really make that much of a difference because it's so minimal. As you can see, the hardware shows up on the buckles on the sides here, as well as there's a D-ring on the inside that you can see is gold hardware, and the feet. So for the most part, the hardware is not super noticeable in relation to other bags. So either way you go, I don't think it will really make that big of a difference. If this was in silver hardware, I think I wouldn't mind that. So as you can see, this one is in silver and I really don't mind that at all. It's so minimal that I feel like it doesn't really make or break the bag for me, which I initially thought that it would because I was very adamant on getting a gold hardware bag. From my knowledge, there's no price difference between the gold or the silver hardware. And then getting into probably the most distinct difference, which is obviously the size between the two bags that I have, which is the 12 and the 15. So this was another consideration when I was first buying my bag. I obviously ended up with the 12 first. When I was making my purchase, I didn't really have the option to choose the 15. I bought this in January, and there were not that many Margaux in the market at that time because it was just getting really, really popular and they were all getting purchased. So I bought the one that was available and thinking that if it didn't work out for me, I wouldn't buy it or I would return it. So when this came in this size 12, I just thought that it was so adorable. It's definitely a like handheld bag or like crook of your arm bag, and it looks really, really nice like that. It's very sophisticated in my mind. I initially thought that I could fit in my MacBook in here. You cannot do that, but I will show you what it looks like if you just kind of stick it on the vertical side of it. But I think I talked my way into this because I really wanted a Margaux bag at that time, and it was really hard to get the 15. If you watch my initial wish list video, you would know that I wanted a pebbled leather in 15, and that's what I have on my wish list and my mood board. Not that I settled for this, but I bought the one that was available because I really, really wanted a Margaux. So I've tried to make it work, and I definitely really love this bag. But if I did have the choice between the 15 and the pebbled and the 12 and the smooth, I don't think I would have picked this as my first Margaux bag. If I had all the money in the world, I would probably first buy this one and then I'll get myself a 12. I think that if I had all the money in the world, there is space for both of these in my collection, but I don't have all the money in the world, so I would have to let one of these go. So with that said, I feel like you guys kind of know where I'm leaning more towards, but I wanted to talk about the size of the 15. So when I was looking online, I wasn't really sure if this size would work for me, and that's really why I went with the 12. So when I bought the 12, I kind of thought like, yeah, the 12 is perfect for me. I don't need a 15. A 15 would be way too big. It's a travel bag, but I really don't need a travel bag. So I kind of made peace with the fact that I wasn't getting a 15. But when my sales associate called me to see if I wanted to try this on in store, I couldn't not see it because I just wanted, for my peace of mind, to try it on and see if it actually is too big. And I was afraid that I would fall in love with it. And I think I have fallen in love with it. It's exactly the bag that I want. And I knew that that was gonna happen. That's why I didn't want to see it, because I knew that I already had a 12. I'm 5'4", and I think the 15 looks good on my frame. It's not too big. It definitely fits more than just essentials. I think essentials are like your phone, your wallet, your keys. If you are looking for something that you can bring to work every day, and you can put your gym clothes in here, you can even put a pair of running shoes in here if you wanted to, like this is that bag for you. But if you just wanted a like handheld bag, then I think the 12 would be perfect. The 12 doesn't fit a laptop, but it fits all of your essentials and everything that you might need for a couple hours when you're out. But this will take you from office to your workout class, and that's personally kind of what I want in a handbag. If you're between these two bags, know that the 12 doesn't fit a laptop. It works really well as a like top handle or a crook of your arm bag, and also a crossbody. This does come with a strap that you can put on. I will say that it is a little bit chunky when I tried to put it crossbody. I have not used a strap, but if that is something that you want to do, then definitely pick up this bag. And if you were looking for a workhorse bag that can fit all of your essentials plus more, then definitely go with this one. In terms of pricing, they're actually very, very similar. So as I mentioned, the smooth leather is going to be a little bit more expensive compared to the pebbled leather. So because I got the smooth leather, it actually ended up being a very similar price to the 15 and the pebbled. I bought my 12 on Matches Fashion and they charged me in USD, but I think the price was $6,900 with all of the taxes and conversion. And then this one I bought at Holt Renfrew, so the price was $5,900. And with taxes and everything, it came up to $6,653. So very small differences in terms of the price. I do want to show you guys if a laptop fits in the 12. As I mentioned, it won't fit in this way. As you can see, it's already kind of the size of the bag. And if I put it in this way, like it won't go in. Really wanted to kind of stick your laptop in there. If you're just going from your office to your car, like that'll fit. You can see that it kind of stretches the leather a little bit, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. It can fit all of your essentials, so I'll show you guys what fits in the 12. I've got a sunglass case that goes really nicely in here. I've got my keys. I've got another set of keys. I've got my wallet, my AirPods, a pen, and then I've got my phone as well. So all of that fits in really nicely, and you can see that there's still a lot of space in there. I don't have a bag organizer for this. I would recommend one just because the inside is a canvas cotton lining. So if you want to protect that, then definitely go for a bag organizer. I should also mention that inside there is a slip pocket in there, and then also 2 pockets for your phone and your wallet on the other side. So that's everything that fits into the 12. I'll show you what fits in my 15. So what I love to do with my Margaux bags is unbuckle them. I feel like it has this like undone look if you have it open like that. I do that a lot with my 12 as well because it also allows you to really open up the bag and put in as much as you want in there. So first I want to put in my laptop. So as you can see, the laptop fits in there very, very easily, and it just lays flat on the side there. Next, I want to put in all the same things. So again, 2 of my keys, my wallet, my phone, my sunglass case, AirPods, and my pen. And it's a little bit heavier now because I've got a laptop in there, but this is everything that fits in. And as you can see, there is still so much room at the top of the bag that you can put in a change of clothes or maybe your lunch if you wanted to. This bag can fit in so much, and it's not a very heavy bag, but because I did put a lot of stuff in here, it's becoming heavier. Both of the bags are very, very light still. I mentioned that in both of my unboxing videos. Because of the bag lining, it makes the bag very, very light, which I really appreciate because you don't want to be carrying around a really heavy bag. The last thing I think I'll mention is the strap drop. A lot of people say you can't really make this a shoulder bag, and that's true, especially if you're wearing a coat. A 15 will not fit under your shoulder, but if you're wearing something really thin, like, and you really need it to be hands-free, you could, but you can see that there's not a ton of space under here, that it just doesn't really look very good. So this is definitely more of a top handle or a crook of your arm bag, and that is the same for the 12. The 12 is not gonna go here. I mean, I guess it's the same, but it just looks really weird, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. So with that being said, I have made a decision on which one I'm going to be keeping, and if you have been paying attention in this video, you would know that I'm definitely leaning more towards the Row Margaux 15 just because of its practicality and the fact that I can use it without really having to think about it too much the way that I do with the 12. I think just like unintentionally I baby the 12 because of the leather, and that's really the biggest factor for me. For a bag at this price tag, like, I cannot just have it as kind of a trophy in my shelf. Like, I need to be wearing my bag, and that's true for all of the bags in my collection. It's definitely a curated collection of all the bags that I wear very, very often. So I'm going to be selling my Margaux 12. If you are interested in this bag, I know it's quite hard to find, but if you're interested, feel free to email me. My email is down below. I would prefer to sell it in Canada or in Vancouver so that you guys can see the bag. But if you are in the States and are interested in this bag, you can definitely still email me. I'll respond to you. So those are all the considerations that led me to this decision. If you guys have any questions about the 12 or the 15 or the Margaux in general, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, you guys.